So it's finally happening. After months of talking about, hinting at, and referencing it, I'm finally making a review on the 1978 masterpiece, John Carpenter's Halloween. But why has it taken me so long to review it, you might be asking? Well, it's something you should have learned in school already, but it's because numerical order goes as follows: 2, 4, 5, 3, 6, 1. Anywho, let's get on with the review. While John Carpenter had prior minor success to Halloween, notably Assault on Precinct 13, Halloween is what really launched his career. Not only was it massively critically and commercially successful, even being to this day the highest rated film in the Near 13 film franchise, but it also was the first modern slasher and really solidified and popularized the genre, despite, interestingly enough, not having many kills or that much gore. And yes, slashers had come before it in the vein of Psycho, Peeping Tom, Black Christmas, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but Halloween is what elevated and refined the material into something more. Everything that Black Christmas and Texas Chainsaw did, the masked killer, the POV shots, being holiday themed, the final girl, Halloween also did, but did it in a significantly more realistic, frightening and almost artsy kinda approach. Halloween is simply unrelenting in its tension and horror, and is what got me into horror in the first place. The entire time I was watching it, in the daytime no less, my stomach was in knots and I thought I was gonna throw up, and for months before and after I had nightmares from simply seeing an image of Michael Myers or hearing the iconic theme song. Funny story. One day at work around Halloween when I was on the John, the first thought I heard the theme song, and no lie, my blood ran cold, fear coursing through my veins and my heart slowed to a crawl. So it's fair to say it had a significant effect on me, but enough rambling. Halloween is a 1978 horror film directed and scored by the maestro of horror himself, John Carpenter, with John Carpenter and Deborah Hill co-writing the script and Deborah Hill producing the film. Dean Cundey handled the cinematography in what was his 16th film, having started in 1973. The film would be made on a budget of $300,000 to $325,000, with half of the budget going towards the cameras, would go on to gross $60 to $70 million worldwide, with critical praise around the board. Halloween would in 2006 be selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. The story starts on Halloween night, 1963, where a 6-year-old Michael Myers murders his teenage sister who was having underage premarital sex instead of watching him like she was supposed to. Well, at least it took less than 30 seconds, the second fastest shot in all of Illinois behind CM Punk. For 15 years Michael Myers is kept in a mental institution, and on Halloween night, now 1978, he escapes and returns to his home in the fictional town of Haddonfield, Illinois, not Haddonfield, New Jersey. A real shame, I know. While in Haddonfield, OL Mikey borrows a mechanic suit and a sweet mask and begins to stalk a babysitter by the name of Laurie Strode and her friends, who was played by Jamie Lee Curtis, daughter of Janet Leigh of Psycho fame in her debut film that launched her career. But while Michael is pursuing them, he himself is being chased by his psychiatrist Sam Loomis, played by the late Donald Pleasance, who would go on to play the role in Halloween 2, 4, 5, and 6 before passing in 1995. And oh boy did he treat the material like Shakespeare. And from what follows then on is by far the scariest events in horror for me, and overall the best horror, and is easily my favorite horror of all time, although Hellraiser, Candyman, Silence of the Lambs, and The Exorcist do all come very close. This is all I'm going to say about the plot, as it's more interesting and effective to just watch it unspoiled, so now I'm going to talk about its strengths and weaknesses. The strengths of Halloween, and mind you there's a lot, this is pretty much a perfect film. The cinematography in Halloween is simply sublime and in my opinion is the pinnacle of horror, with amazing use of lighting and shadow, which was partly a result of their lack of budget, which meant they couldn't use as many lights as they wanted. which works out alright in the end as it's one of the most memorable parts of the movie for me. Part of what makes the visuals work so well is the color grading, which has depth and natural colors, with deep shadows and an ominous atmosphere. Regarding Michael's design, it is something that they perfected with the first film and have never matched since, even in the sequel where it's the same mask. The original actor, Nick Castle, is also the best Michael Myers in terms of height, build, and the way he moved. The music is a large reason why the film is so scary. It strikes a chord deep in my soul and permanently latches itself in. In summation, the film works as a horror film on every level, and while it is a little bit of a slow burn, it doesn't waste a second building and maintaining tension. There aren't really any issues with Halloween barring some technical ones, and even then it's mainly in the beginning of the movie, and are so minor that they really don't matter. So overall, I would give the original Halloween a 10 out of 10 and would absolutely recommend it. And that'll be the video. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please be sure to follow me on social media.